Hey everybody, it's Mr. Wagner here. Today we are going to begin our Pong game, so let's get started. All right, first thing I want you to do is I would like you to open up the program Idle, and Idle is a program that came with Python and it allows us to write the code. Okay, now if you look on my screen here, I actually have it right down here in my dock called Idle, okay, and I'm on a Mac, so if you're on a Windows machine, you might see a desktop icon or something like that. If you do not see it, you're going to need to go into Finder and then say Applications, and then find your Python folder, and you'll find Idle there, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and open up Idle, and we'll move some stuff around here so everybody can see what we're doing. And then let's begin. Okay, so we got Idle Shell 3.11.0. Now the shell is nothing more than just a place where you can write little bits of Python code to test stuff out. So like for instance, if I'd hit in 2 plus 2, it'll tell me 4. Okay, but that's not really the part that we're going to be using in Python. We are going to be using an editor. So I'm going to go up here and go File, New File, and now I have a new file. It says it's untitled, and this is where we are going to be typing our code. Now the thing about Python is you're going to be typing your code. You're going to be typing your code in, and the first line of code that the compiler runs, or that the Python runs, is at the top, and then the next line and the next line. So you're always working from the top to the bottom. So let's begin with our first line of code, which is kind of not a line of code, and it's basically a comment. So I'm going to say pound, that means comment, and I'm going to type in pong1, just the name of the file that we're going to do. And I'm going to pound, and I'm going to say code with Mr. Wagner. Okay. And you might want to say, your name. Okay. Basically, anything that starts with a pound does not get run, but you can write all kinds of little messages to yourself or to other programmers to look at your code. So comments are very, very useful, and I encourage you to use them. They are free, so you don't have to pay for them. Just put pound and then whatever. Okay. I guess you guys don't really hear pound. It's like this. It's a hashtag, but it's not really a hashtag. It's called a pound. The actual real word for it is octothorpe, but now I'm getting really weird. Okay, so let's begin. Remember that the program library that we're going to be using is called Pygame, and Pygame allows you to run all these great graphics programs without having to write a whole lot of code in order to get stuff running. So we're going to be importing that library, the library of Pygame, import, and then Pygame. That's all you have to do. And that basically tells Python that, hey, we can use Pygame and all the stuff that comes with Pygame in our program, and that's wonderful. Pygame has been written by other programmers and debugged and everything, and we can just leverage all that code. So that's a really good thing. So import Pygame, and then the first little bit of code that we need to do is pygame.init. Okay, and basically that says Pygame, I want to initialize everything that that you got there, okay, that you can use. So now let's see here. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to create a window, okay? So I'm going to hit pound, and I'm going to say create a window, or window, okay. And the commands for that are just like this. By the way, I'm looking at notes over here, so if my eyes go over there, just that's what's going on. Okay, so our Pygame .display .set caption. My mouse is in the way. Set caption, and I'm just going to type in Pong, like that in quotes. Okay, just like that, pretty. Now what that does is this say for instance is a window, and notice how the window title right now is called untitled. Well, when we create our window for Pygame, it's going to say Pong. And basically anything between those quotes you can put in there. You know, you could write well, just whatever, okay? So, you know, these sorts of things, anything within quotes, you can generally change and not hurt the program. So, okay. And we need a place that we are going to actually draw onto. So this creates the window, and then we're going to create a thing to draw onto, and we're going to call that a screen. And we're going to say screen equals pygame.display. Boy, my typing is not working today. Display.set _mode. And 2 parentheses 800 comma 600, and I will be explaining to you why there's 2 parentheses there in a little bit. And then I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm going to say pygame.quit. Okay, so again, the program starts up here, comment, so I'm going to skip that little bit of code, skip this little bit of code. Here we're going to import the library. Here we're going to initialize Pygame. Here we're going to create the window that we're going to be drawing in. And then finally we're going to quit. So I'm going to hit run. Run module, and it says source must be saved. So we're going to hit OK. And it's wanting to save into documents. And I've already created a folder called Pong. So I'm going to select that Pong folder. And I'm going to say pong1. Okay. And it says, let's see here. Okay, this is interesting. Pygame has no attribute display. Did you mean to say display? So this is something that happens with programmers all the time. You misspell something, you type something too fast, and right here, pygame.display.set. Okay, so let's put a P in there. And let's try running that again. And we'll save. And did you see that? There was a little window that popped right up there, but it popped up so quick that I didn't even get a chance to really see it. Okay, so let's see if we can do something about making it such that we can see that display again. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to import another library, and I'm going to call this time, okay? And time allows us to, you know, pause the computer, things like that, okay? And down here, we are going to say time.sleep, and we're going to put 3 seconds there. And we're going to do one other thing, and that is pygame.event.wait. Okay, so basically we're going to tell Pygame, we're going to tell the program to wait until Pygame generates an event. In other words, popping up the window. We're going to sleep for 3 seconds, and then we're going to quit. So this should run the module. Let's hit OK. And look at that. It waits for about 3 seconds, and then it goes away. That look good? Let's do a couple more things here. I want to clean up this little window. Maybe make it a little bit easier for us to see what exactly is going on when we run our, there we go. So let's run it again. Perfect. Okay, so I did that so, you know, this shell's going to keep popping up, but I moved it out of the way so I don't have to look at it all the time. All right, so so that's the beginning of pong1. If you're with me so far, that's great. We have made a lot of progress. Let me take a look at my notes. I think I've told you everything I want to tell you. And stay tuned for Pong 2. All right, bye.